Okay, children. So, first question. So, what is saponification reaction and write the reaction involved in this process? First question. What is saponification reaction? Children, when esters react with bases, you get soap plus alcohol. That is called saponification. Why means it? Because soaps are formed in this reaction, children. Because soaps are formed in this reaction. That's why it is called saponification reaction, children. Compulsory you have to write reaction. CH3, COO, C2H5. This is called ethyl ethanoate. Ethyl ethanoate with NaOH. Ethyl ethanoate with NaOH. What you will get, children? CH3COONA, CH3COONA plus C2H5OH plus C2H5OH. This is soap, children. This is soap. Okay. So this is called sodium ethanoate. What is it called, children? Sodium ethanoate. What is it called, children? Sodium ethanoate. Why this is called esterification reaction, children? Because soaps are formed. Esters plus base gives soap plus alcohol. Esters plus base gives soap plus alcohol. Next, children, write the formula of chlorides of aca silicon, aca aluminum elements predicted by the method. Children, first one, let me say, what is aca silicon? What is aca silicon later discovered as germanium?
Germany.
Okay, children, and what is aca aluminum later discovered as aca aluminum?
Gallium.
Gallium.
Okay, later discovered as gallium. He's asking what is the formula of its chlorides? What is the formula of its chlorides? Okay, children. Seriously, if you don't know, children, in exam, how to write this? Children, carbon, silicon, germanium, all of them belong to same group, 14th group, children. Normally, with chlorine, carbon will form what compound, children? Chlorine will form what compound with carbon? CCl4.
CCl4.
In the same way, silicon tetrachloride. In the same way, GeCl4. Like that, you can write, children. And aluminium with chlorine, how it will form, children? AlCl3. When aluminium is formed AlCl3, gallium will form
GaCl3.
GaCl3. That's all. Like that you should assume, children. Like that you should assume. Because they all belong to same group. Same group means they will have same valence. When they have same valence, you can write like this, children. Next question. Okay, children, like this you have to predict, children. Next. What happens when lead nitrate is strongly heated? Children, what happens when lead nitrate is strongly heated? It is an example for decomposition in presence of heat. When lead nitrate is strongly heated, you will get PbO plus NO2 plus O2 gas. Okay, children? So PbO plus NO2 plus O2 gas you will get, children. And what is the color of NO2 gas, children? What is the color of NO2 gas? Brown colored
Brown.
gas. Brown colored NO2 gas is liberated. Brown colored NO2 gas will be liberated. This is an example for decomposition. What is lead chromate? Anyone, children? Formula of lead chromate. Okay, children. PbCrO3. Children, lead chromate. PbCrO4. 1 second. Potassium dichromate is K2Cr2O7. No, children. Potassium dichromate. K2Cr2O7. So lead chromate Pb is plus 2, Cr2O7. Cr2O7 is minus 2. So PbCr2O7, children, lead chromate. When lead chromate, children, what is the color of lead chromate? He is asking, children. First question. A suspension of X is used. What is the color of lead chromate, children? What is the color of lead chromate? This is orange in color, children. This is orange in color. Okay, I don't know why they asked that question. They did not ask anything else. A suspension of X is used for whitewashing. What is used for whitewashing, children, anyway? What is used for
CA,
whitewashing?
CaO.
CaO. What happens when whitewashing is done? CaO. What happens when whitewashing is done? What happens when whitewashing is done? CaO will react with water.
Without
Okay, and you will get
CaCO3.
CaOH taken twice. First, this one. The CaOH, what happens, children? The CaOH taken twice reacts with atmospheric carbon dioxide and gives a white layer of CaCO3. Shining white color of CaCO3 is formed because lime reacts with atmospheric carbon dioxide. Next, why does copper sulfate change when magnesium ribbon is placed in it? When copper sulfate, into the copper sulfate, if you put magnesium, why does the color of magnesium changes? Because
Magnesium displaces copper from its solution.
magnesium displaces copper from copper sulfate. Magnesium displaces copper from copper sulfate because magnesium is more reactive than copper. More reactive metals displace less reactive metals from their salts. Okay, name the acid base required to prepare sodium sulfide. What is the acid and base required to prepare sodium sulfide? What is
H2SO4 and NaOH.
A? NaOH is correct. What is acid?
NaOH.
What is
HCl.
acid? Huh?
HCl.
What? NaOH is base is correct. What is the acid you want here, children? What is the acid required to prepare Na2S? Anyone?
Sulfuric acid.
No. Where is SO4? Anyone in the class? What is the acid required?
H2S.
H2S, hydrogen sulfide. Hydrogen sulfide. A foul smelling yellow color liquid, children. H2S, hydrogen sulfide is the acid required to prepare Na2S, sodium sulfide. Okay, children, H2S, correct. Next question. Next, give an application of photochemical decomposition reaction. Anyone? Give an application of photochemical decomposition. Application. Silver bromide. Where it is used, children? Anyone? Silver bromide. Where it is used? In photography, children. In photography. Okay, in photography they used to use this reaction, children. In older days, whenever we didn't have digital cameras, when they were using this rolls and negatives, all those things, they used to use silver bromide, children. That is a photographic reaction. Silver. Okay, children. This one. Next. So, what is the application of photochemical decomposition? It was used in photography, compulsory upright reaction without reaction. What is meant by oxidation? What is meant by oxidation, children? It can be addition of oxygen, removal of
Reduction.
hydrogen, or removal of
Or
electrons.
electron.
Oxidation can be any of this.
Electrons.
Addition of oxygen, removal of hydrogen, or removal of electrons. Anyone it can be nitrogen. Okay. Next, what do you mean by rancidity? What do you mean by rancidity?
Oxidation of food.
Oxidation of food and oils. Oxidation of food and oils in presence of air and moisture. Oxidation of food and oils in presence of air and moisture. Oxidation of food and oils in presence of air and moisture. Mention 2 ways to prevent rancidity. Add nitrogen.
Nitrogen or store in airtight containers.
Freezing, drying, putting in airtight
Drying.
containers, sun drying. Okay, all these are the examples. So adding nitrogen. Nitrogen is a good antioxidant agent, prevents rancidity. Okay, children, all these things we can do. Why jewelry made of 24 karat is not preferred? Why jewelry made of 24 karat gold is not preferred? Because pure gold is soft and brittle. Pure gold is soft and brittle, children. No one will use pure gold because pure gold is very soft and brittle. Easily it will break, children. That's why little impurity you have to add, like copper or silver. 2 parts they will add. 22 karat gold is used in jewelry, children. 22 karat gold. Okay, next. Why electric wires are covered with rubber-like materials? If you take electric wires, rubber insulation is present, children. Why? Because it
Rubber
acts
is a
as
bad
To
conductor.
prevent conduction of electricity to harm.
It acts as a insulator.
Insulator.
It acts as an insulator. Insulator means it has very high resistance. Insulator means it has very high resistance. Insulators have very high resistance. So all the electrical wires have rubber coating because they act as insulators. All electrical wires have rubber coating because they act as insulators. From dilute sulfuric acid, zinc can liberate hydrogen gas, but copper cannot. Zinc can liberate hydrogen, but copper cannot displace hydrogen. Why, children?
Copper is less reactive than hydrogen.
Yes, because copper is present below hydrogen in reactivity series. When it is present below hydrogen, less reactive than hydrogen. When it is less reactive than hydrogen, copper can't displace hydrogen gas. Okay, children? So because it is present below hydrogen, less reactive metals cannot displace more reactive metals. Copper is present below hydrogen. So copper cannot displace hydrogen from any of the acids. Copper cannot displace hydrogen from any of the acids. Carbonate ore of metal is first converted into oxide. This is not there for you. Okay, children, ores are not there for you. Next one. Children, one assertion and reasoning. Children, one assertion and reasoning. First, I will say assertion. Tell me correct or not, children. Hard water should not be used with soap solution. Am I correct or not? Is it correct or not, children?
Correct, sir.
Yes, because soaps do not act in hard water. Soaps do not act in hard water. Hard water should not be used in soap solution. Correct, because soaps do not act in hard water, they only act in soft water. Detergents can act in hard water and soft water. Second one, soaps react with calcium and magnesium present in hard water to form scum, because he's saying soaps react with the calcium and magnesium salts present in the hard water and forms insoluble precipitate called scum. This is also true and also correct explanation. So answer is A. Assertion is correct, reasoning is correct. Reasoning is the correct explanation of assertion. So both are correct, children. Okay. What are the salts present in hard water, children? Calcium chloride,
Chloride, magnesium chloride, calcium
Magnesium
sulfate,
chloride, calcium,
magnesium sulfate.
magnesium.
magnesium sulfate. So soap reacts with the salts present in hard water to form insoluble precipitate called scum. Soaps react with salts present in hard water to form insoluble precipitates called scum. Soaps react with salts present in hard water to form insoluble precipitates called scum, children. Next one. Next. So children, please mute your audios, children, if you are not doing. Second question, children. Next, see here. Children, the element X is there, children. Element Y is there. Please see here, children. Element X belongs to first group. First group, and this belongs to 16th group. This is belongs to first group, that is 16th group, children. In the third period, both of them belongs to third period. You see, both of them belongs to third period. Okay, compare them with respect to number of valence electrons. First group elements will have how many valence electrons, children? First group elements will have
1,
2,
who said 2, right? First group elements will have 1 valence electron. 60th group element has 6 valence electrons. 6 valence electrons. Next, their valencies. First group valence is +1. 60th group valence is
-2.
-2.
because 6 minus 8 is -2. Next, size of their atoms among X and Y, which is bigger?
X,
X, because in period atomic size decreases.
decreases.
In period atomic size decreases. Formula of their oxides: X is +1, O is -2, X2O is the formula. Y is Y is -2, O is -2. Normally, children, oxygen with oxygen, oxygen with oxygen. Okay, normally both are oxygens only, children. This is also because 60th group is oxygen only. But how to write, sir? Then because it is, say, children in 16th group, what are their oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, or polonium are there? Okay, oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium are there. Forget about oxygen with oxygen. Sulfur is there. Suppose sulfur is there. How sulfur reacts with oxygen? Imagine. What are the compounds formed by sulfur? You get sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. Okay. So imagine that in your mind and write down formulas. YO2, YO3. Like this, you should write. This you should imagine in your mind, children. Don't write because they did not say Y is sulfur. Are you able to understand, children? See, in 60th
Yes.
group, oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium are there, children. Oxygen with oxygen is not possible reaction. So with sulfur, we will see. Sulfur with oxygen, we know sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide. Like that only I wrote, by what to. Like that you should imagine. If they ask with selenium, selenium means SCO2 and SCO3, you should say. Why? Because sulfur is also going like that. Or the tellurium oxide, tellurium petrol. So like that, children. Sometimes it may form, it may not form, because same group elements will have same properties. That's why I'm saying same. Tendency to lose electrons. What is tendency to lose electrons? Metallic character.
Metal.
Which is more metallic character, X or Y? Which is more metallic?
X.
X is more metallic because in period metallic character decreases. In period metallic character, what happens, children? In period metallic character decreases. In period metallic character decreases. Okay, children? Like that you should memorize, children. Next, reactivity of aluminum decreases if it is dipped in nitric acid. Why? Aluminum, when it is dipped in nitric acid, reactivity decreases. Why? Because nitric acid is
Strong oxidizing agent.
strong oxidizing agent, and aluminum oxide layer is formed already, but this make it to form immediately. So normally what happens, children, see, try to understand. Aluminum, if you keep in atmosphere, it will form aluminum oxide layer. But if you put in nitric acid also, immediately an aluminum oxide layer will form, and aluminum will become unreactive. Aluminum will become unreactive, like that. Next question. Carbon cannot reduce oxides of sodium or magnesium. Sodium or magnesium oxides, why carbon cannot reduce? Why carbon cannot reduce? Because sodium and magnesium are
More
highly
reactive.
More reactive than
elements, more reactive elements, very highly reactive elements. If you want to reduce them from their oxides, so only process we have is electrolysis. We have to pass the current. Just by giving carbon or something else, they won't decompose children because they are very highly reactive. They hold the oxygen very strongly. Sodium chloride is not good conductor of electricity in solid state. Sodium chloride in powder form, it won't conduct electricity, but if you mix in water, it will conduct electricity. Why? Because if you mix in water, you will have Na plus and Cl minus ions. Because of presence of ions, it will become good conductor of electricity. Because of presence of ions, it will become good conductor of electricity, children. Because of presence of ions, it will become good conductors of electricity. Next question. Why iron particles are galvanized? To prevent?
Rusting.
To prevent rusting. To
Rusting.
prevent rusting. Iron particles are galvanized to prevent rusting. What is rusting reaction? Fe plus O2 gives
Fe plus O2
Fe2O3.
FeO3.
Yeah, right reaction. Okay, to prevent rusting, galvanization is coating of zinc. Metals like sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium are not found free in nature. Why, children? Because they are
Highly reactive.
highly reactive. They are always available in the form of their compounds. Why means they are highly reactive, children. Okay, because they are highly reactive, they are always available in the form of their compounds, children. Next. Uh, why carbon compounds undergoes covalent bond? Why carbon compounds undergoes covalent bond? Because outermost
cannot-
electrons, 4.
It cannot share electrons or can gate for
No, it cannot give 4 electrons. It cannot take 4 electrons. Therefore, it will share 4 electrons. Sharing of electrons is called covalent bonding because they form covalent bond because they share 4 electrons, children. They're sharing. Okay. Diamond has high melting point. Why, children? Diamond has high melting point. Why, children? Because in diamond, one carbon is bonded with 4 carbon atoms with strong interanic attraction. One carbon is bonded with 4 carbon atoms with strong forces between them. Therefore, diamond has high melting point and also it is very hard solid. Why hard solid? One carbon is bonded with 4 other carbons, children. All of them are holding tightly. That's why it will form very strong bonds, children. That's why you cannot. They have high melting points. Graphite is a good conductor of electricity. Why? Because in graphite, one carbon is reacting with only 3 carbons and 1 electron is left free. One carbon is bonded with 3 carbons. One carbon is bonded with 3 carbons, 1 electron is free. Here, one carbon is bonding with 4 carbons, no electrons are free. That's why diamond is a bad conductor. Whereas in graphite, one carbon is bonding with only 3 carbons and 1 electron is free. That free electron is responsible for the conduction of electricity in graphite. One carbon is bonded with 3 carbons. Okay, children, one free electron is there. Acetylene burns with sooty flame. Acetylene formula, anyone? What is the formula of acetylene? C2H2 is unsaturated hydrocarbon. Unsaturated hydrocarbon have double and triple bonds. Because they have double and triple bonds, they undergo partial decomposition. When they undergo partial combustion, they liberate soot and ash. Acetylene means C2H2. Ethylene means C2H4. Acetylene means C2H2. Acetylene means C2H2 and ethylene means C2H4. Remember, children, C2H4 is ethylene. C2H4 is ethylene. Acetylene means C2H2. First alkyne. Next, kerosene does not decolorize bromine water, whereas cooking oil does. Kerosene does not decolorize bromine. Means indirectly what is saying?
kerosene is saturated.
That's all. Kerosene is a saturated hydrocarbon. It has all single bonds. When it has all single bonds, it do not undergo
Addition.
it do not undergo addition reactions. It do not undergo addition reactions. Like that, you should analyze, children. Like that, you should analyze and you have to write all the points related to them. Give the examples of covalent compounds and draw their electron dot structure. State any 4 properties in which covalent compounds differ with ionic compounds. Covalent compounds children. Hydrogen require one electron. Hydrogen require one electron. Therefore, they share that one electron, and a single bond is formed between hydrogen, and you get hydrogen molecule. Oxygen is in need of two electrons. Oxygen is in need of two electrons. They share 8 plus 2 10, 8 plus 2 10, and they will form double bond, and they will form oxygen gas. Nitrogen is in need of three electrons. Nitrogen is in need of three electrons, children. Okay, they share like this and they share like this. Nitrogen always form triple bond, and you get N2. Carbon dioxide, carbon required four electrons, oxygen required two electrons, oxygen required two electrons, and they will share like this, and they will share like this, and they will share like this. Carbon dioxide. Don't forget, carbon dioxide is very, very important, children. Carbon dioxide. So carbon got how many electrons? Four electrons. Oxygen got how many electrons? Two electrons. Oxygen got how many electrons? Two electrons. Oxygen got what stability? Neon stability. Oxygen got what stability? Neon stability. Carbon got what stability? Neon stability. Carbon dioxide structure. Compulsory you should draw the like this carbon dioxide structure. Next, what are the properties of covalent compounds? Covalent compounds are formed by sharing of electrons. Covalent
Bad
compounds are
conductors of
formed
electrons.
and they don't have
Free
charges or ions. They don't have charges or ions. When they don't have charges or ions, they are bad
conductors of electrons.
Heat
Low
and
melting point and
electricity, and they have low melting and boiling points. Low melting, and they are soluble only non-polar.
non-polar.
They are soluble only non-polar. These are the properties. Sharing, do not have charges or ions, bad conductance, low MP, low BP, and bad soluble in non-polar solvents. Soluble in non-polar solvents. Soluble only in non-polar solvents. Okay, next one. What is fragmentation? Name a multicellular organisms which reproduces by this method. Which organisms undergoes fragmentation, children?
Spirulina.
Spirogyra. In Spirogyra, if you see its structure, it will be in the fragments, children. It will be like in fragments, children. So accidentally, whenever it breaks up into fragments, each fragment will develop into entire organism. Each fragment develops into entire organism. Each fragment develops into entire organism because entire organism is coming from the fragment. This is we are studying under reproduction, but actually it is a repairing mechanism. And since single organism is involved, it is an asexual reproduction, children. Okay. Next, listing tabular form the two differences between asexual and sexual reproduction. Sexual and asexual reproduction. So many times we discussed. Sexual, two organisms are involved. Asexual, single parent is involved. Because two organisms involved, male and female gametes are formed. Here, no gametes are formed. Because gametes are formed, fertilization takes place. Here, no fertilization. Because fertilization occurs, variations occur. Why means two male and female characters will mix with new character will come. Here, no variations will occur. When there is no variation,
useful for evolution.
Good for evolution. It's useful for evolution. When there is no variation, not much useful for evolution. Evolution will occur, but occurs very slowly. Here, evolution occurs very fast. Next, show the reproduction of Hydra by budding. Show the reproduction of Hydra by budding, by budding. So during reproductive season, Hydra produces buds on the body wall. These buds will develop slowly, small tentacles, and detaches from the parent, falls on the ground, and leads its independent life. Okay, next, children. Next, woman has only daughters. Analyze the situation genetically and provide a suitable explanation. A woman has only daughters, it seems, children. Children, question is, the woman has only daughters. Analyze this situation, children. Analyze this situation. Woman is having all daughters only means when analyze the situation genetically and provide daughters means all might have got XX only, children. See, normally males will have XY.
XY.
Okay, and females will have XX.
XX.
Maybe the X of that female might have fused with X of male only. The X of that female might have fused with X only. You have to write that. The X of a female might have fused with the X of a male, and therefore she has got only all daughters. Give 6 features of the mechanism of inheritance. 6 features is asking, children. Mechanism of inheritance. What are the 6 features, children? 6 features, sir. 2, 3 suddenly I will give children. See children, genes are genetic factors. Genes are genetic factors, children. Genes are genetic factors. Okay. And here, children, among all 46 chromosomes, only allosomes, 6 chromosomes, 2 are in number, children, 2 are in number. They carry genetic information. They carry genetic information. Means they only involve in fertilization. They only involve in fertilization. Okay, children. So some more they want, it seems, children. I will try to let you know, children, correctly, because whatever we want, we can't write. Now, what are the 6 features of mechanism of inheritance? I will see and I will tell you, children. Okay. What is genetics? What is genetics? Study of gene is called genetics. Study of gene and its structure. Study of gene and its structure is called genetics. Give the common name of the plant on which Mendel performed the experiment. Mendel performed the experiment on
Pea plant.
pea plant. Pea plant. Okay. Next question. What for did Mendel use the term factor, and what are these factors called? No. Mendel's called factor as unit of inheritance. Mendel called factor as unit of inheritance. Mendel called factors as unit of inheritance. Factors nowadays are called as gene. During his time, he don't know about gene, children, so he called as factor. No factor is called now, today, present day, factor is called gene. Gene is a unit of inheritance. What are genes? What are genes? Genes have
Genes are the
genes
Functional
are made
segment
up
of DNA.
genes are
the
correct.
inherit.
No, genes are functional segments of DNA. Genes are functional segments of DNA. Where they are present? Where they are present?
Chromosomes.
On DNA in chromosomes. On DNA in chromosomes. Children, try to understand. This is chromosome, children. Inside the chromosomes, DNA we have. On the DNA, we have segments of genes, children. Again, I'm saying this is chromosome. Where is chromosome? In the nucleus. These chromosomes have DNA, children. On the DNA, segments of DNA are called genes, children. Segments of DNA are called gene. Functional segment of DNA is called gene, children. Next. Okay, children. So, next question, children. A compound X, children. A Mendelian experiment consisted of breeding pea plant, bearing violet flowers with pea plant, bearing violet. What will be the result of first generation? So, children, he said that he caused violet flowers and white flowers. Okay. So normally, children, violet flowers and white flowers he caused, but we don't know which is dominant. Let us take violet as dominant. If violet is dominant, capital V, small v, small. Normally, violet is more dominant than white. Violet is more dominant than white. Okay. So and violet and white are possible. Then first generation compulsory all the
Sir,
no.
sir, class time I may leave just.
Yeah, I told no problem. No need to say. Okay. Take any two plants from this. Take any two plants. Okay. So you get big V, small v, big V, small v, small v, small v, like this. In first generation, you get all violet flowers. That is called law of dominance. In first generation, you get all violet flowers. That is called law of dominance. And in second generation, you get one homozygous violet and two heterozygous violet, one homozygous white plant. Next, a compound X on heating with sulfuric acid. A compound X on heating with sulfuric acid gives compound Y. X also reacts with sodium to evolve a gas Z. Identify X, Y, Z and write the reaction. Identify X, Y, Z and write the reaction. So children, X reacts with sulfuric acid and gives Y, children. X reacts with sulfuric acid and gives Y. Can anyone tell what is X, children? Alcohol. Ethanol on dehydration. Ethanol on dehydration gives ethene plus water. Okay. And C2H5OH also reacts with sodium and forms C2H5ONA plus hydrogen gas